Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Now, joining us now is Okpe, not Emmanuel Efeni, as I announced earlier, but Emmanuel Efeni will come later. But Okpe is here with stories trending around the world. Hello,
That was a nice intro. Good morning. Good job. How are you?
We're good, and thanks for yesterday.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hi, Leila. Good morning. How are you? And good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending today in Nigeria. The National Youth Service Corps has released a statement regarding 2 female youth corps members that were expelled from an orientation camp in Ebonyi State for violating the scheme's dress code. In the statement, the scheme said they prevented female youth corps members from wearing skirts in orientation camps to avoid indecency during training and other activities, and that its dress code since May of 1973 had been maintained, noting that its dress code is not tied to ethnic, religious, or gender bias. The 2 female youth corps members, identified as Okafor Obianuju and Oji Orishe Solaye, were expelled after they were caught wearing their official white T-shirts on white skirts instead of white shorts. This is a very strange story for me because, I mean, I don't know of any Christian religion really that says we cannot wear shorts. So, but basically the ladies, the female youth corps members said that they were wearing skirts because it was against their religion to wear shorts. I know that the dress code also has been an issue for a while. I think also last year they tried to do a bill in the Senate. They tried to pass a bill in the Senate for the youth corps members to wear skirts. The female youth corps members who wear skirts during orientation. But basically, what the NYSC is saying is that they cannot wear skirts because it's it's not proper for women to wear skirts during.
The National Youth Service Corps has a dress code, and that dress code has been in place.
Yes,
since the scheme was started. The objective of the scheme, of course, we must not lose sight of it, is to promote national unity, is to open up Nigeria to Nigerian graduates of higher institutions, and to promote integration, national unity. And this was shortly after the Civil War, and it was part of the attempt by the then government, the Gowon government, Yakubu Gowon, to ensure, national rehabilitation and reorientation. So that larger objective is there. There are some people who argue with that and who say, we have moved far away from that period, maybe we don't need it again. But my position is that the NYSC is still, a very useful national intervention. Now, as to the issue of dress code, it's not for individuals to say that they will choose how they dress. There's an NYSC uniform, which we all wore. And the argument that the NYSC has put up is that, look, there are some activities, some manual activities, some physical activities, that if a woman were to wear a skirt, in fact, it will violate the same religious principles.
Exactly.
That some of them are saying that they are protecting.
Right.
Because then they could be indecently exposed.
Right.
If they were to dress anyhow. And if you enroll onto a program, you follow the ideas of that program, you follow the code. In fact, I've been surprised myself seeing women wearing skirts or, sewing their own uniform. It speaks to a certain breakdown of law and order in terms of how the NYSC is managed. If persons object to the dress code, well, there are more legitimate ways of going about it, of engaging the NYSC authorities. But I think that in this particular case, the NYSC is not guilty of any form of discrimination against anybody's religion or against gender.
Absolutely.
So this is the point, I just hope that, but it happens all the time. 2 years ago, it was the Nigerian law school, when a lady, a graduate of the University of Ilorin, insisted that she would attend call to bar ceremony wearing the hijab. She lost the opportunity to be called to bar that particular year. I think so. She lost seniority by 1 year. I think the following year, maybe she was allowed.
Yes, I think it was reversed.
Because she insisted. But that had to be with the special intervention of the body of benchers.
Yes.
But the way it is, if there's a dress code, you abide by it until it is changed.
Yes.
That is the code.
I like your point about it actually violating your Christianity, because basically it's based on religion. That's why they said that they weren't going to wear the shorts. That's
I don't know
really
what religion necessarily that is based
yes.
on, but at the end of the day, no matter where you are in life, you will always be in institutions where you have dress codes. We all went to school and even had school
but also
uniform.
you have to put religion in place, because obviously some religious, like the Muslims, they wear the hijab, and that's part of their dress code.
That's actually more cultural than it is religious, the veil.
Both, but they are required to cover their hair. It's like, remember that story we took about that Iranian boxer, was she from Iran, where she really wanted to present herself as a Muslim fighter and wanted to make...
but you should be allowed to wear your... You should be allowed to wear your veil.
So, but then I don't know how this will pass in any kind of argument.
Is not against the wearing of hijab, by the way.
Right.
They only insist that it must be white.
Right.
I think that's the regulation.
Yes, and so also the Christian Association of Nigeria have reacted to this as well, saying that, the NYSC is, being satanic for not respecting religion. Yes.
So what would they say if they were to go to France, where you cannot even wear any symbol of religion within the country? What would they say if you were to go to France and that was to happen? Sometimes people need to really look at the battles they're picking, or fighting, rather.
I don't see where this will go in any way. Well, still in Nigeria, the Director General, Media and Communications of Kano State Government, Saliu Yakasai, has come under fire for insulting the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, on Twitter. A recent debate regarding the abduction of some children from North Nigeria to Southeast, where they were given Igbo names and converted to Christianity, was the controversial topic. The Emir had made a comment that the parents of the children were to blame for the children's abduction, and in response, Saliu Yakasai, via his Twitter page, asked the Emir to stop opening his filthy mouth, saying Sanusi's comment was a very reckless comment to make. In his tweet, he wrote, "I wonder if any of his relatives get kidnapped or stolen, he'll act the same way." Twitter users have had mixed reactions, with many cautioning Saliu Yakasai for insulting the monarch. This was a huge debate over the weekend. People were just really outraged with the Director General for actually insinuating that the Emir should shut up. Basically, I don't understand I don't understand where he gets off insulting a monarch for actually making a statement of concern. Because basically, these children, when you go out, you see the way that they roam on these streets. And for example, how can a parent not know where their children are? So he was in his right to make that statement, and I see no reason why the guy should insult the monarch.
Well, I've always made a point that spokespersons must realize that the job of a spokesperson is a very important job.
Correct.
Maybe they don't teach it in school, but when you do the job, you will, in the process, learn some lessons. And I've always said that windbaggery, that is, talking carelessly or just being loquacious, is not one of the assets of a spokesperson. There is decorum required in the job. A heavy load of common sense is required. Knowing when to keep your mouth shut, is also part of it. And I think in this particular case, we find, a reckless conduct on the part of you say he's Director General of Media and Communications.
For Ganduje,
correct. Kano State, but clearly it went beyond his brief. I do not think that the governor will have instructed him to go and tell the Emir of Kano, whatever may be the political differences between the Emir and the governor, that the Emir should shut up his filthy mouth. That's what he said, And in any case, that's defamatory per se. How does he determine that the mouth of the Emir is filthy? But of course, the Emir will not, sue him. But I think in terms of decorum, he owes the Emir of Kano an apology.
An apology, I believe.
Spokespersons should learn to respond to issues. The Emir made very clear points about the kidnapping of children. He spoke about unity. He defended the interests of Igbo persons, a Fulani, saying, look, Igbos should not be attacked. How is that a filthy statement to make, coming from a filthy mouth? So I think that the joke is on the so-called Director General of Media and Communications of Kano State. And I hope that, apart from issuing an apology to the Emir and retracting his statement, he must realize that going forward, he must do his job with common sense and intelligence and realize that public communication is very sensitive.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Do we have time to take one final story?
We can read it out and we'll come back to it.
All right, let's head over.
Maybe we'll take a short break.
Yes.
We'll take a commercial break,
okay.
and then we'll come
back to you.
We'll be right back. It's still the morning show. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. We're still with Okpe, who's been looking at stories trending around the world. Okpe, yes? Any other trending story?
We have one final story. Well, let's head over to the U.S. Goldman Sachs, the bank behind the Apple Card, is facing legal scrutiny over accusations of inequality. The New York Department of Financial Services has launched an investigation into the bank's practices after the founder of Basecamp, David Hassan, accused Apple of sexism when determining credit limits. David claimed he received a limit 20 times higher than his wife, despite her credit score that was higher than his. He tweeted, the Apple Card is such a sexist program. My wife and I filed joint tax returns. We live in a community property state, and have been married for a long time. Yet Apple's black box algorithm thinks I deserve 20 times the credit limit she does. No appeals work. Also, the co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak, also weighed in, saying that he got a credit limit 10 times higher than his spouse. He tweeted, the same thing happened to us. I got 10 times the credit limit. We have no separate bank or credit card accounts or any separate assets. Hard to get to a human for a correction, though. It's big tech in 2009. Goldman Sachs has maintained in a statement that credit decisions were based solely on credit worthiness and not qualities like gender or ethnicity, although it didn't explain why a woman with a stronger credit score received a lower limit. I mean, gender inequality again in the U.S. after we talked about this recently. But also I read a report, a Bloomberg report, that showed that, the financial services, excluding women in the financial services, have made that loan department lose so much money at this point. And I don't understand why the algorithm is giving men more loans than women, because obviously I think that we spend more money. So I think that, the fact that this investigation has come up, I think is a great deal. But I think that inclusion should be added as soon as possible, because obviously this discrimination, like the New York Financial Services Department said, is against the law to actually discriminate.
In this particular instance, Goldman Sachs, the company behind Apple Card, has said that, look, there is no gender discrimination involved.
They've claimed there's no gender.
What is very clear is that even when you use algorithm or you use artificial intelligence or you rely heavily on technology, there could still be flaws that should be addressed. And I think that a complaint by David Hansen and Stephen Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, has achieved one objective, which is to draw attention of Goldman Sachs to the fact that, look, there are certain omissions in how, your credit card system works. And I think that what we should expect is that this will be addressed by Goldman Sachs. Right. As for women spending more than men,
I
don't know about that. We don't have scientific
evidence to prove that.
to prove that, women spend more. But of course, in terms of avoiding sexism,
yes, in terms
of any kind of facility or innovation, we can legitimately say, that is something that should be addressed.
Right. But I mean, there was a report that actually did say that women are supposed to be, that they are losing a lot, millions of dollars by not including women,
because women spend.
This is my
that's your opinion.
This is my opinion.
but this is why we have to keep talking about financial inclusion, because there's so many people that are left out of that sex that can contribute to it wholesomely, like women. So hopefully when you have reports like this coming out, they can review them and see, you know what, okay, we do need to make some changes here, because sometimes, like Dr. Abati said, it can be artificial intelligence gone wrong. Right. Which it does seem to be in this case.
But I mean, like, the report really, it's such a huge difference, the disparity. The fact that this woman, David's wife, you know, has a higher credit score than he does, and he's still got 20 times higher the loan. It's really just that.
Leila and Oji, what you must note here is that David Hansen and Steve Wozniak, you know, these are men standing up for their wives. So when next you come around, Oji, and you complain about men, at least we have two examples.
I don't remember complaining about men.
Of two men saying that, look, why should I have a higher credit limit than my wife? I'm standing up for my wife.
What is the basis then? What is actually the basis on which they give them more access to credit if it's not credit scores? Because the women in both cases had higher credit scores. So clearly these algorithms are not working based on credit scores.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we don't understand.
Let's leave that to Goldman Sachs to worry about.
Yeah, we're just talking about gender right now. That's all I'm concerned about. Like, the inequality should stop. I don't understand.
Because here you have two men standing up for their wives.
Yes, it's a great news.
And
financial inclusion. Standing up for financial inclusion.
Thank you very much, Oji.
Thank you, Dr. Abati.
See you tomorrow morning.